What's going on, everybody? This is Brandon Hill, and today I'm going to show you how I made this Drake type beat in Maschine, and it's going to sound something like this. So let's get into it. Okay, let's first start off with all the elements that we have in this song here. So I will start with this and I will solo this group. And I have these pads, this chord progression here. And one of the things that makes this sound like a Drake type beat comes with the sound selection. And for this, I used a play series by Native Instruments, which is called 40's very own keys. And 40 is one of Drake's main producers and has that iconic sound that people associate with Drake. So 40 has this play series, the keys, that have a lot of presets that have different Drake type sounds. And I used this one here. It was called 40 Dreams and 40 Nights. Here's what it sounds like on the keyboard. For this chord progression here, I went to chords, and for chord mode, usually it's set to harmonizer as a default, but I set it to chord set, and I use this minor type 1. There's different chord sets, major and minor. I use minor 1. It gives you all these chords that work really well together. So when I played this, it was something like, something like that. So that's how I created this here. So those are the pads. Next up, we have this here, which contains another pack from 40, which is 40's very own drums. So you get these drum sounds that are very Drake sounding. Again, you have all these presets that you could choose from for all these different sounds. And you could take a look here. And let's see what I used here. So we have this here. So on the keyboard, we have this kick. And then we have this tom sound. And then I have this cowbell. So you could see that hitting right there. So this is what I played. Okay, and then I just have variations of this pattern. This one took out that cowbell sound. This one here has a little bit of a drum fill at the end. Okay, next up we have another drum kit that I use from 40's very own drums, which is this pink house preset. Let's take a look at what we got here. And for this, I was using the hi-hat. So this sound right here, and I played this hi-hat pattern. And when I recorded this, I had that hi-hat selected, and I used note repeat, and I switched between the 1/8 rate and the 1/16. So started off on 1/16. And kind of just played around with that until I got this pattern here. Next up, we have this kit here that I found from the Sacred Futures kit. So if we go to groups here, Sacred Futures has these hip hop and trap sounds, and I use this kit right here. Okay. And I really liked this kick here and then the snare. So this is what you'll hear. And then you have this. Here's a simpler version that doesn't have that drum fill at the end. Let's go to the next one. We have another kit from the Sacred Futures. It's called Grains. And I liked this crash sound here that kind of has this delay to it. And I played different notes. So I got this effect right here that kind of adds a lot of space to the beat. adds a little bit more emotion. So you could see that I did something like played with those notes. Right here, let's listen to what I have. So I think I copied this here. I copied all these notes. I copied these chords and I pasted it into here. And then I just stripped off a lot of the other notes. And for this in the browser, if I go to instruments, I used these session strings, which come with a lot of string instruments. I use this ambience one. So that's how I got this. I wanted to choose sounds that were giving that dark, eerie vibe, but also add a lot of emotion to the beat. So if I take this off solo and we play this all together, this is what we have as the main loop. So when I made this beat, I had all these elements and this was probably in scene 1. And then I started to build out my scenes. So typically I would go to scene 1 and I would use these to determine what I want in that scene. And then I would duplicate that scene and make my other scene. So for the first scene here, I just had the pads and then this. So this was my intro. This scene here, we start to introduce that closed hi-hat. To keep progressing the beat through each scene. Here, we start to add the kick and the snare. Right here, we have the strings that come in, we have that spacious crash sound with the delay, and then we used a different pattern here. This scene we already listened to when I first went through all this. This scene here, just another variation. This scene is more of a breakdown scene. I took out the pads, took out the kick and the snare. And then lastly, we have this final scene. And for this beat that I made, you'll see I made it on November 18th, 2022, and that was about 3 months after I started learning how to make music. So I didn't do a lot of sound design and processing to the sounds. I didn't do too much mixing. Most of the effects on here were already added when I made this beat. For example, this kit has all these effects on it. On the master, I used Ozone 10, which is a mastering plugin. And here is the arrangement. Like I said, I made this beat after like 3 months of learning how to make music. So I didn't create the most complicated arrangement. I didn't add too many effects or clips. This clip here just has this special effects grain sound. And then right here, I have this transition, this sweep sound right here. It kind of just goes into the main scene here, which we'll call the drop because it has all the elements. So with that, we'll listen through this all the way through, but that is essentially how I made this Drake type beat. It all comes down to the sound selection, which helped because I used the 40 play series instruments with the drums and the keys. So that already gave me that Drake vibe. And then it was about combining the elements together into something that creates emotion and gives that dark, eerie, nostalgic vibe. So with that, I'll play this song. And if you like this, let me know in the comments. Let me know how I could best create tutorials to help you out. And I'll get started working on the next Maschine tutorial. So enjoy the beat.